Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today we'll be taking a look at First There Was Chaos by Joel Priddy. This is Hesiod's story of creation interpreted by Joel. It's published by Uncivilized. It's another one of the books that Tom Kaczynski at Uncivilized sent over to me, one of the books he's published. So always really grateful for the books, Tom. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and happy to share this with you all. It's a really fun book. Like it says on the cover, this is a adaptation of Hesiod's story of creation. The thing that I think I really enjoyed most about this book is that it's got Hesiod himself in it too. So here it says, the poet desiring admiration, honor, and coin seeks an audience. And so it's kind of putting Hesiod in the story and putting his life in the story. That also sets up this pretty cool like graphic difference in the artwork, where here it's much more almost like a frieze or something. It's all a bit like hieroglyphic, but obvious with Greek influences and stylizations on there, like the type of thing you would see on the side of pottery or something like that. So that's the Hesiod stuff, talking to his audience and showing his fame growing. And then you actually get the little different bits of stories. So each one of those comes with a title. This is like the yawning void, so the beginning from the void. And you see there's a lot of fun graphic play throughout the book with color, paneling. It's just right out the gate. You're kind of getting some fun formalisms here that have to do exclusively with comics, things you could only do in comics. One of the other kind of really nice styles throughout is this very dark style. This is like a lot of like shading going on here. It looks like a lot of pencil work that's been converted to black and then colored over. So it gives like a really rich kind of screen print look with a lot of variety, but really it's just like one color and gray going on. I really like the kind of iconic abstract art making. This is all stuff that really speaks to, my interests in art right now. So really enjoy these pages like this where you get these almost totemic sculptures. As the book goes, there's also kind of a map developing of how all of these different ideas relate to each other. So like the void and chaos giving birth to Eros, Tartaros, Erebus, Nyx, G, and then the mountains. So you kind of get like a family tree of concepts as they develop throughout Hesiod's myth of creation, which I think is a cool idea. And the kind of interspersing of those three or four different elements really round out the book. So it's more than just a retelling. It's kind of an interesting back and forth between the creator and the map he's creating and the stories themselves. And then the other kind of primary style that you get in here, you've got this dark style that I was pointing out, and then there's a very light, bright style here as well. So here we have Persephone, or one of the green goddesses, coming alive and making all the fields spring up, and you get this like very beautiful, again, like this cartooning, kind of simplifying down to the basic shapes abstraction there, but it's a much more like kind of kid-friendly cartooning style. It looks like a kid book or something. So I really like the combination between all of those things in the book. And then towards the end, we get some like production fun here, where we have a gigantic fold-out. I don't even think this is going to all fit on screen, but we get a big fold out here. Ooh, boobs. Yeah, so just some really cool stuff all throughout the book. I don't know like why this got smaller and inserted instead of full page, but that must have been the easiest way to do it. And yeah, it's a really cool little thing to have inserted. And then I really like this final image here of Hesiod with the audience, again relying on really simple shape-based silhouettes and cartooning to make like this kind of bigger meta shape, and then filling in with the audience. So just a lot of cool different approaches. As always with Uncivilized stuff, I always call Tom the like rogue scholar. Uncivilized is kind of like the rogue academia of comics as I think about them, and this book is another great entry to that. That like the writing, I guess, is just simplified version of Hesiod, but I think what's going on with the art really sells all the mythology in a really interesting way, and makes this stuff consumable to a modern audience in a fun new way. So yeah, just another really smart book from Uncivilized. And again, thanks so much, Tom, for sending these over. Every time you send stuff, I always get a bunch of gems. Appreciate it. Sala Yalo, Path of the Shades by Clarence Doss is a really cool ongoing project that Living the Line will be producing. Clarence is a PhD student from Fiji who's studying the myths of Fiji for his doctoral thesis. And part of that study project is that he's producing these comics. They're kind of like Hellboy, where there's these little short stories that capture all of these different mythologies. But then he's using that to wrap the project into his doctoral thesis and then provide educational material where people can come to these comics. You know, they don't have to read his PhD thesis, they can come to the comics and get a more consumable version of the mythology of Fiji.